Welcome to today's biblical messages, and let me tell you, I have something really exciting that can really help your life if you put these practices into place in your life and around you. It can really change the way you live your life. So we are going to talk about 4 laws that can prevent you against darkness or keep darkness from coming in around you. Do you ever feel like darkness is around you, that it gets close to you, that you hold on to it, whether in your mind or your body or just the surroundings around you? Well, if you feel that, and I'm going to give you some examples as we go, this is going to help you prevent that from happening to you. So the first one is the law of holiness. And this just means that as you live in sin, you are opening doors for darkness to come in and to be inside of you and around you. There's actually things that you do that will open doors. You drink, you do drugs, you have sex outside of marriage, you gossip, you do things that lets darkness come in and into your life, into your body, and you are made to be holy. So, when you live in holiness, it actually shuts the door and it creates a force against all types of evil around you. So what I think of when I think of this the most is I used to go out and drink a lot, or even now, as I usually will not have more than 1 shot of something throughout an entire night if I am going to drink, which is very an if. But if I do, I won't let myself have more than that because I do not want to let darkness in. So if you go out and drink, or if you did in your past life, I call it, and how many times would you say that you would go out with a group of friends and there would be a fight amongst you, there would be a fight against your spouse or significant other, or even there would be a fight around you that maybe you're not in, but some sort of fight would go on? I'm going to say at least 95% of the time, and I feel like I'm being conservative on that issue. But if you go out, there's always some sort of words that are said, there's some sort of something that's said that brings that darkness in and creates that darkness force around you. And it's because you are literally letting darkness, demons, whatever you want to call it, come upon you. So if you want to know more about that, read in Isaiah 59. It talks about sin, confession, and redemption. And you will find this law in Leviticus. These laws are in Leviticus chapter 17 through 26. So if you want to read more about that, then go ahead and read there. So the second one is the law of the word. This is the spirit world is governed by words. Okay? The spirit world. There is a world all around you. There's this realm that's right above us that are angels and demons, and they are fighting for us. I say this all the time. If you hear any other messages from me, you may hear something about it's like back in the 80s and 90s, and we'd watch TV shows and cartoons that would have the angel on one side and the devil on the other side, and they'd both be talking in the person's ear. That's a cartoon way of showing you, but what's really happening is there is a spiritual world, and there are angels and there are demons that are fighting for you, and they both want you to win their side. So which side are you going to let win? Are you going to let the holy side win or the darkness side win? So demons will plant thoughts in your head, and they will try to get you to say and think the things that they have planted, which is going to harden your heart when you do that. So Proverbs 18:21 says, the tongue has power of life and death. The word, the Bible, This is your ultimate guide to life, and it's an ultimate source of power. Words give a voice to fear and a lack of faith. Okay? So the words you say will either give you more fear or less fear, or more faith or less faith, depending on the words that you are telling yourself and that you are telling others. The third one is the law of sacrifice. These are believers whose sacrifice will shake the spiritual realm and receive power, manifestations, and blessings. So, how do we do that? You get up an hour earlier of your day and spend it in prayer. So you're sacrificing sleep for prayer. Maybe you're going to go a day, 24 hours without eating. You are sacrificing food for fasting. But when you do that, you also need to have prayer in there. If you want it to be for power in prayer, you have to pray while you're fasting. To dedicate daily tasks or behaviors and choices to God's will. So even being joyful in the things that you're doing is a sacrifice. When you give up 3 hours of your day on Sunday to go to church and help serve at church, you are sacrificing your Sunday morning for to serve. So when you sacrifice, it gives you power. Romans 12:1 says to offer your body as a living sacrifice. Your body, yourself, is the ultimate sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice that you can give is to not have sex before you are married. If you have already done that and you're married, just ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness of that. God is a gracious God. He will forgive you for that. You don't know what you don't know. If you are single now, stop. Give that ultimate sacrifice. If you've been married and you're older in life like me, and whether you're dating or not dating, you are not having sex with anybody, so that you can give that sacrifice to God. Then the last one is the law of persistence, which demons hate consistent Christians. Christians who pray every day in the Spirit become stronger. So if you pray every day, you become stronger. If you pray in the Spirit every day, you become even stronger. Your power becomes stronger. Your words become stronger. Your force becomes stronger. You have that force around you. And when I think of the force, I think of the girl in The Incredibles. And remember that a cute girl, her name Violet maybe, she realized that she had this force that was around her. So when evil or the bad people were around her, she could create this force that protected her. Well, as she got stronger and understood her power more, she could then create a force around her family and her loved ones. That is what prayer does for us. Prayer gives us this power around us. It gives us this invisible force that doesn't let demons in. These laws, it's like they're knocking on that shield, but they can't come in. They're coming at you and that shield bumps them back, however you want to think about it. And then when you learn intercessory prayer, so you learn how to provide the gap for other people and pray for them, now you are providing that shield against your whole family. You're providing the shield from the darkness around that. And there is nothing better than to find out that somebody had, a health report and that looks bad, but because of your prayers and that person's prayers and coming together and hitting the gap, you have got this shield around you, and you know that whatever happens, you're not going to be affected by this that you're going to get good out of it. A lot of times people just get healed because of it. But you have to learn how to do this for yourself and for others. I am going to read you a passage in the Bible. It's a parable. It's in Luke 18, and it's 1-8. And it's the parable of the persistent widow, because Jesus talks about how to be persistent. And when we are going through hard times in our life, it is difficult to be persistent. So then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor feared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with a plea, grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come back and attack me. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones, who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they will get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? So when Jesus comes back down, is he going to find that faith on earth that we have to keep that persistency, to keep going? All of these laws create shields against forms of darkness, and these laws are not about rigid rules that we have to have in our lives. It's about mirroring holiness in God. I hope this will help you today. Take this down, grab a hold of it, and see how your life will change.